my name's Ellie, welcome to my channel. We're doing an update today on my project Dirty 30. Hold on, I'm thirsty. I have the beginning of a headache, so it'll be a good time. Most of this month has been me actually being back at work, so I actually have progress to show I'm quite excited about. I want to start with the stuff that I normally forget, which is lips. I have some stuff, so I've got sake from Bite Beauty, pressed it here. I've used it a couple times, but it's going to take me a long time to use up this much of a pot. So we're still going on that. I've got this bitch. You can kind of see some breaking up on the side, so I'm working on it. This is Pout from Bare Minerals. Not finished. I've got a lot of dust on this. This is True Love Means from Hourglass, which I used a couple times, but not that often this month. It's gonna have to really pick up next month because I made what feels like a bunch of progress on something. Is it this one? Yes. Rosewood. It's gotten to the point that it's really hard to apply cleanly, and other lipsticks I would potentially pull out and melt into a pot. A, I'm running out of pots because a bunch of shit needs to go in pots. B, I have the same shade in a Charlotte Tilbury lipstick, so I'm just going to count Rosewood as done and move over to Walk of Shame as my go-to bricky standard red shade. So this one is going in that. This one I will still probably pull the last bit of product out just so that I have this for when I start trying to do refills, because Lush does sell lipsticks that you can pop into existing packaging, and I would like to have the packaging to do that eventually. I'm going to rotate in Manic, a little itty bitty nubbin. This will be my ready lipstick for now, and I will work on panning that. And as we go through True Love Means, I also want to have Dread from Anastasia Beverly Hills as my other nude. I use this quite a bit, and once we finish that one, I'll probably rebuy it because I like it a lot. But that's where we're at on lipsticks. I almost always forget lipsticks, so trying not to. The rest is kind of a shit show about where I should start. Fuck. We'll start with highlighters. Oh no, we'll do bronzer real quick. I got this one. It's a little crumbly. It's been chipping up, so I need to crush it and repress it. But I am using it every day. It has significantly decreased in size. I just need to make it sit nicely so I can, like, hold it up pretty. I also have, we'll do this one. We'll get some stuff out of the way of my filming space. On blush, we hit pan and expanded it in, well, I did. I keep saying we, like I'm part of a panning team or something. No, it's just me using my makeup on my face. Argyle has pan. Hot Mama is getting a good dip going. I think using them together, by the time Argyle's done, I should have pan and Hot Mama. I don't expect it to take too long, especially because these are pretty loosely pressed. They're not super packed. I am kind of keeping an eye on these. I'm not using them yet, but these are things I do want to pan. For sure at some point, these and this one I want to press in to some of my other palettes that I'm working on. So I'll put that aside. Lipsticks, bronzer, blush, done. I might as well do my foundations. I have these two. I had not scraped this down, and we are really far down on this one. This is my darker one, Shell 7.5, and then this is Porcelain 0.5. This one's way too pale for me, but I did mark this one where I could see it last time, and we've gotten down to this one, in the last month. I have another one coming in because this amount of dark is not going to last all month, especially because I am mixing them together because this one is too light for me. I tried a different ratio today that I think worked quite well and should allow me to drag out shell long enough for my other one to come in the mail, because we had some stores open back up for pickup, but it's still not as available as just walking into the store and getting it. It is what it is. I'm just trying to stay on top of it, and if I have to go a couple days without foundation, I will just not wear foundation for a couple days. We'll be fine. I do have powders. These are the two that I'm mixing together. I recently mixed some together to put it in here so that they make a good shade for me. I'm not really marking these, just keeping track of the fact that I'm mixing these as a 1-to-1 ratio. They work really well. It's Makeup Revolution's powder in Ghost and in Lace. Seem to make a good light beigey tone for me without too much yellowness. And we're going to keep doing that for now. Highlighters. I have some stuff. So, first one. This is Vanilla Quartz from Becca. I expect this to be done during this month. Like, this is if I tried a week or two of using this. I'm hopefully going to empty this out and then be able to press in this. This is Nabla Angel. It's nice. It's a little firmly packed for me, so I'm hoping repressing it will allow it to be more easily picked up and give the shine that, like, if I work with it, this makes a really, really nice iridescent gold shine, but I have to work with it, and I would like it to pick up a little better. I might mix in this. This is a sample. I think it's Urban Decay Sin. It's unmarked. I might use this to mix together. I might use it separately. I might use it as an inner corner highlight. I just know that these two are on the panning chopping block to replace Vanilla Quartz. And if I can, there's a little dent back here I'm hoping will allow me to force the pan out, and then I think it's just a touch too big, but I might just pop this in there and then count this as the empty pan for Vanilla Quartz. Something's happening downstairs. So, that is the neutrally gold highlight situation. I have the last little bits of Franken highlighter that I think I can also go through this month, because this one, it's very loosely packed because that's just how I press things. It should pick up and be done pretty quickly. And then we're going to start going into what I'm bringing in for reasons. Biggest accomplishment, Moonchild Glow Kit is 100% panned, done, no shades left, all used up. This took me over 2 years. It's fucking done, and that is one less highlighter palette in my collection, even though I did like all of the shades all the way through. I didn't get, annoyed or mad at that palette or any of those shades. As soon as I started using them, I'd be like, oh yeah, this is so easy to wear. So, that's done, and now I'm gonna keep going on trying to get rid of eyeshadow palettes. Not eyeshadow, highlighter. This is from Kat Von D. This is the Metal Crush. I don't think this is available anymore, especially since Kat Von D is KVD now and they're rebranding, but I think these offer some good options. This was actually a Christmas gift from my lovely Twinnie, and they're really, really pretty and iridescent, and with how Kat Von D was, and we found out about, I felt kind of weird using this on camera, even though they are, they're very soft and glittery, and they make a really, really fun look. And so between them, I've got a nice pinky one, I've got a nice greeny gold one, a nice peach one. I think that will keep the colors going that I have kind of gotten used to having, cool and warm, highlighters available. So then we can work on this one, and then I will slowly chip away at all of my highlighting palettes because I sure as fuck do not need that many highlighters. So I have this one. Then remaining I'll have the ABH Magic palette, Sweets palette, and the Sigma Chroma Glow Chroma something palette. So this one will replace it because I think between these three and the textures, that will give me some fun stuff to play with, make some really pretty looks, and I can appreciate a gift without feeling like I'm incentivizing anybody to go support Kat Von D, since that we can all do that now, since KVD no longer is associated with Kat Von D. So this is going to be that, and that will start working me up to the fact that in panning the Magic palette, I'm going to be wearing a shit ton of glitter. I've stolen bits of the Magic palette to press into shadows, but I really do just need to pan that whole fucking palette eventually. This is like my stepping stone to full-on glitter. I have a little bit of... could feel something in my teeth. It's great. Highlighters. I'm also bringing in my NYX Duochromatic highlighter in Twilight Tint. It's a blue iridescent one. I really liked having a blue one, and I think having a cool toned one that is not so glittery will be something I'll appreciate. So this is going to be my nice easy cool toned. I'll have my aggressive cool toned. I'll have glitter. I'll have a nice gold for days I don't want to think too much. We got plans. We got all sorts of plans. Eyeshadow is a big one. A lot's happening. I'm going to start with my big ol'... This is my base shade. It's also kind of chunky and falling apart, so I'm trying not to. We hit pan, but also bits are falling off, so I'm trying to keep everything together. Because when it's flat as I'm using it, it's not a problem if it's crumbly and falling apart, but trying to hold it up and show you, that makes it a problem. On this one, we are getting down to less than halfway on the loose shadow, which I'm using to set my brow and brow bone and inner corner. And this should be something that I can finish up either this month or next month. And then I can, probably replace that with this one. So that's why I haven't really committed to where I'm using it, because it might be a highlighter pan, it might be an eyeshadow pan, depending on what happens. Oh, that's right, I wanted to move this over. Eyeshadow has a lot happening. Let's start with where I am on, like, my Franken shadows. This is my first set, so I expect this one to be done either this month or pretty soon after. And I've got Tiny Pan on purple and on this purple, and I'm really, really liking those. Again, this black shade I'll probably crush up and rip out of my palette pretty soon because I don't like it and I'm not using it, and I have things I'd rather press into that to be very available for all of these looks. Construction is happening right outside my door. It's great. I also have some other Franken shadows over here, which I also hit pan on. I had a really, really dark matte green that I really wasn't liking and really wasn't using, so I just made a couple smoky looks and got rid of it. It was not helping me be productive and inspired, especially because I have this, which is basically the same depth, and since it's more of a satin shimmer than like a metallic shimmer, it serves the same purpose, and I didn't have to worry about the annoyance of... Hold on. With that being such a dark shade, and being something I'm already putting on the outer corner and kind of blending it into the crease where it has the edge, it's just easier to use this one than to dick around with a dark, patchy matte shade that I made, because I'm not good at making matte shades yet. I'm just not. I hit pan in this one and in this one. I think these are going to go really quickly, just from how I've been able to use them. And I've made a lot of really nice looks, matching all these up. I really, really like them. And I'm having a lot of fun, like, coming home from work, having seen my look in the eye a couple times a day, be like, I wonder what happens if I mix this and that one together. So I do my morning makeup, I go to work, and then I get home and I play with the color combinations that I've thought of when thinking about my Franken shadows and seeing my look throughout the day at work. I also have what is going to be the next big component of this. Since I finished up the corner of my base shade, that's why I'm using the big one now, I pressed a shimmery brown in there, and I pressed a true silver in there. And now I have all of these mattes to start working on as I finish up that matte that I made, because this is a big old palette of mattes that is very useful. It's a very nice formula. I just need to use it more. Again, not likely to make much progress on the black shade. I just don't use black shadows very often. I'm pale. Wearing a black shadow to work can be kind of aggressive. And I have some things to add in. This one I haven't used a ton. This is Easy Bake. It's just a nice single gold shade from Urban Decay. I think that's going to be helpful because most of my, well, as you saw, blues and purples. Different shades of purple, but I have like 4 purple shades and no gold. And the silver is nice, but that's another cool tone. So as we get into the warm tones of the Tarte Tartlet and the mattes, I want to have a gold to just pop on there for certain shades. And I have this. I've stolen pieces of this for various Franken things. Like I stole some of the... Oh, I didn't steal any of the mattes from here, but I intended to. So Buff is up for panning pretty quickly. These might get incorporated, they might not. Like, I think I could definitely use light brown and cool gray and maybe nectar and plum, charcoal. Unlikely to use black, unlikely to use navy. I just don't use them, and I don't remember particularly enjoying using that shade. A lot of these got used for Franken. This one was part of the big brown shimmer that I made in the Tarte Tartlet. Jade is part of the one I made in there, and I think these are just some really nice, neutral, easy shimmers that I will use throughout the time, because it's a nice palette, but it's just not my speed. It's not interesting enough to pull out and really want to do a bunch of looks out of it, and it's something I bought at the end of a relationship to, like, get myself over it, and I just never really had that much attachment to this palette, so I'm ready to use it up. I feel like Lorac is just not my formula. Like, the mattes are nice, but they're also kind of powdery and can be a little hard to build up slowly, and the shimmers are just not as moist and metallic as I want them to be. And maybe Lorac is just not for me, eyeshadow-wise. At least the ones I have. The ones I have, it's down to this. And I used to want to get the other Lorac Pro palettes, and I just don't. I'm just not even keeping track of them. Yeah. So, there's that. My plan is to use stuff up as we go through, press things in, find singles that fill in holes that I might have in my color combinations. I have a bunch of singles in here. These are likely to get pulled in. There's things that I've used to make the Franken shimmers. I have my leftover bits of my base shade in these, and they're just things I'm expecting to use over time. These are 2 sample shades from Clear Cosmetics. They're really, really pretty, and I think they'd make really good additions. This is a nice bronzy, mid-toned, easy shade. This is one that I mix in with the Franken bronzer. So that'll get used up as we go through the bronzer. And then eventually I want to circle back to my self-made palette. I did find a way of mixing and repressing the shimmers that I think is going to be helpful. It made them apply much more nicely. more like new shadows. And so I think with that combination in mind, I'd be more likely to use these colors without having, since I wouldn't have to put down a base shade. So these expect to see in rotation pretty soon. Again, I think I can pan buttery. I think I can mix hot chocolate and sherbet together for good crease shades. I don't give a fuck about Spirit Rock. I really don't. Not only is it a black shade, and I don't really use black very often, it's a black matte with scattered glitter, and that is like my least favorite shadow formula. I fucking hate matte shadows with scattered glitter. They just don't work right. I don't know what you're trying to accomplish, but yeah, they basically end up applying like a matte that doesn't have the glitter in it. The glitter doesn't stick to the lid, it just falls on your face. And if you wanted to get the unique texture of a mostly matte shadow with like specks of glitter, you have to put down like a glitter glue or a very, very sticky base to catch those glitters. And it's just not worth it. It's so much work for a shadow that doesn't really make that nice of an effect. It's just not worth it. But this is one I would like to use up this year or next year, and is just on the list. We have a lot of things on the list as we go through stuff, as I use up the Franken shadows and continue to work on this and press stuff into that. I'm just, trying to go through certain things. I have a lot of eyeshadow that is really, really nice and makes some really, really pretty, not super out there looks. They're either like cool warm or cool neutral or warm neutral or just kind of office appropriate. And I want to use them up. I want to just slowly pan through all the stuff I can use at work and then have fewer boring is the word. Boring color combinations that just don't do anything. They don't really inspire me. They're nice, mindless office makeup, but it's not stuff I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna pull this out and like make a look over the weekend. When I do a neutral look on here generally, it's because I'm wearing something that like the outfit is too bright for my makeup to be bright itself, which is not very often, or just because I know I should do some makeup, but I don't have any specific color thing in mind. I'm like, I don't ever really do that many neutral, so I guess we'll do a neutral look, because I never really do those on the weekends. Just as well wearing kind of a neutral look. But, yeah, that's my goal. Just keep chipping away at stuff and trying to use things up. And working on it. I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully this was helpful for you guys. Oh, I didn't... No. I threw some stuff in my little like box of empties that I keep at the bottom of my thing, but they're not stuff I really talked about. Like these are primers. I used up these primers. I have a new primer back there. I'm adding them to my box in case I don't hit my 30, which is looking less and less likely. So those are just things that I'm using up. My foundations are things I'm just using up as I go through and buying new ones, not really chipping away at a stash. And then I used up this brow pencil thing. It doesn't come up anymore. I replaced it with this NYX brow thing that goes in. Oh, that's what I didn't talk about. I don't know where it went. Where did it go? Ah. I have this itty bitty brow wax pencil that I'm using for my brows in combination with the Tartelette eyeshadow. I expect this to be done this month, and I will open up this other one that I bought, and that'll be that. Again, if it's something that don't have a bunch of sitting behind on, like brow products, I don't have a ton of brow products just waiting to be finished. Yeah. I don't have a bunch of foundations waiting to be finished, so I'm just using them and then buying another one and then using that one. So I'm showing them because they are progress, and I'm going to add them to my empties, but it's not like a big, like, ooh, this is my big strategy. I'm just wearing it and not buying a bunch of them. Just buy it, wear it, finish it, buy another one, wear it, finish it. Yeah. I think that's it. That should be everything. I will see you guys next month. That was way longer than I expected. Yay. I have to go frost a cake and make sourdough rolls because I think they're done fermenting soon. See you guys next time.